All right, I'm gonna get started before Bitcoin fucking nukes. All right, so weekly we talked about how this week we traded basically inside the week, right? Nothing too exciting for Bitcoin, basically, right? Because we didn't breach the lows, we didn't breach the highs. So in essence, if I went down to like the 12-hour or something, right, you'd just see chop. Right, so you'd just see price get capped at last week's range, right? So the highs and lows of last week, and we've pretty much just been trading in there. It would be one of those weeks where I'd say is a good week to just not trade unless you're a range trading person. You have certain strategies that fit range trading. I expected alts to do a little bit better, right? Because in a bullish scenario, usually alts outperform Bitcoin when Bitcoin's going sideways. A lot of that was somewhat true on some coins, right? Like Solana, like Doge, the Doge synthetic, Shiba or something like that, right? So that's kind of telling for me, right? Because if a market's super bullish, every opportunity for it to pump, it pretty much always pumps. But so yeah, here Bitcoin just really flat for the week. Is it, consolidation before another leg lower? Possibly. But let's talk about things that we want to see for continuation upwards and things that we want to see if we're, looking for downside. So first and obvious one is for us to trade above these values, right? Cool. Above here, good. Below here, not bad, right? So we're gonna break it down as simple as we can make it, okay? So why is above here good? You're trading above last week's high. Why is it bad? You're trading below last week's low. So right now we have a sequence of just low, higher low, higher low, right? So even in this choppy range, it's not necessarily bad or bearish or anything. It just takes a bit of time, there's a lot of times where people confuse something that's weak versus something that's just slow, right? Like some things take longer to consolidate. Maybe it's the market participants, maybe it's the market environment, maybe it's just the nature of the asset. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look necessarily weak in a sense where I think we're just gonna, like go all the way down. But it's not at a point where I'm comfortable opening big positions either direction, right? Because this could easily just go, sideways for, I don't know, a good week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe this whole month, right? But yeah, this looks like some type of consolidation to me, mainly because you see, where is it? Maybe because you see, this is a down move, right? So kind of similar to up here, this structure, right? Where you get consolidation, move down. And then I expect some consolidation right here, right? Difference here is that we're at this cluster, right? So I expect this area to provide some type of real support into a real bounce, right? Why? Because price traded here after it broke above 20k. So this was the leg up from 20k, right? And then we kind of just consolidated right here. So this area, in my opinion, is the first real consolidation after breaking 2018's all-time highs. It's kind of why I feel like this is a must-hold area, right? Could we trade down below, all the way down to like 25k? Of course we can, but you don't want to see that, right? You don't want to see Bitcoin provide another all-time high retest after hitting 65k. Like honestly, if Bitcoin hits 25k, I would be willing to say that we just lived through a bear cycle that's really fast and we just didn't realize it in time. Because from 65k, where is it? From 65k, right? Let's say we go down to the bottom of this area. So 25k. It's a 60% dump. I mean, you know, that's a bear market to me. I mean, dumping 61% from the highs over the course of a couple weeks / months. Yeah, I mean, we might quite literally be living through a bear cycle and not realizing that it's a bear cycle because of how fast the move is, right? So you very well could have already survived like at least half of the bear market of 2021, right? Yeah, because, you know, we only have so many cycles to compare when it comes to Bitcoin, right? We're a relatively new asset in a new field, relatively inexperienced market participants, right? A lot of people are just brand new to trading, so the cycle's very, very fast, right? There's always that saying where, oh, you've been in crypto for a year. Well, you basically traded traditional finance for like 2, 3, 4 years, right? So you can also apply that to cycles, right? So bull markets are a bit faster, bear markets are a little bit faster, everything's a little bit faster, right? Which is why people in crypto learn so quickly, and they really become solid traders at lightning pace. You know, like you'll see people from a year ago who didn't know what the fuck they're doing. A year later, they're interpreting charts, they're managing their emotions, because it's such a volatile market that's open 24/7 and moves ridiculously fast. So Bitcoin, again, really simple analysis here, but it looks like we're just gonna go sideways, right? Above this area is good, below here is bad. And when I say above and below, I don't mean like it wicks above or some shit. I mean like you gotta see some closes above this level, right? Like you want to see price close above 41.7k or something, okay? And not just like one candle and then it nukes down. Like you want to see multiple candle closes above 41 to 42k. The same idea for below, right? You want to see multiple candle closes. And why is that? When you have sustained buying, price should continually close above certain levels, right? Same idea for downside. If you want to see continued weakness, you would want to see price consistently close below support, right? So not like a rocket science idea or anything, but if price just goes up and then closes back below, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, right? It really doesn't. So yeah, the things to look for if you're bearish: close below 33, yeah, like 33,000, multiple candles, preferably like 3 or 4, which should be like at least half a day. And that's when you could start, you know, really feeling like, fuck, like we might go down a little bit lower. Same idea for the top, right? So you'd want to see 41, 42, multiple candle closes above on the 4-hour, just to show that there's continued strength and not just a little poke up before price ultimately gets sold into and down, right? Alternatively, if you're a more experienced trader and you see a push up followed by a close back down below, that should tell you that sellers are stepping in at this high, and you could take a short setup all the way down to the mid-range or to the bottom of this range. That's range trading. We'll actually have a live stream on range trading on, what day is it today? Today is Sunday, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see what everyone's schedule looks like, but yeah, we're gonna have a little mini workshop on range trading, because it feels like if we're gonna be in this range, I would at least want people to have tools that they can use to kind of trade it. But yeah, Okay, so that's my take on Bitcoin right now. Just a lot of sideways, very boring price action. If you're a Bitcoin trader, you have to either be trading like the 1 minute or some shit like this, or you're not really making money, because we're trading in like a what is this? Yeah, like a 17% range, which isn't bad, but it's just been trading more like a 10%, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. Boring as shit. I mean, I guess it's a Sunday. Would not recommend over trading here. Okay, you're sitting kind of in like a no man's land. I do think that we will at least test 41k. I'm still hoping that we test up here around 48. That's kind of been, key areas that I'm looking at. But again, 42.5, like we talked about on the last stream, is key. 48 is pretty much where I think everyone and their mom sells, and then above 48, I guess we're just going back up. So all right, let's do ETH. So ETH we have a setup for. I put this up before I went on vacation, so I'm gonna go ahead and clear it just so that we can get a better look at everything. So clear and go in the weekly. So I always start on the weekly. The reason for that is it gives me kind of a better look at what the market wants to do, like the direction it wants to take. But yeah, so similar idea on Ethereum as well, right? Just because the market's so correlated, we have another week where we just traded inside last week's highs and lows, albeit last week was an insane week, so the range is actually fucking huge. Like, what is this? Yeah, it's like 28%, like a 28% range from top to bottom. Pretty nutty. So hop down to the daily. And if you guys have questions on anything, feel free to hit it in the live chat. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking about the market and what I think is gonna happen. Yeah, so Ethereum, we entered on the higher low. How did I know that it was gonna form a higher low? I didn't. I just knew there was support, and I mean, you buy support, right? So that's why we bought ETH. I didn't have a fucking crystal ball that said, oh, like it's gonna make a higher low. It'll support, and if you're not buying there, like, where the fuck are you gonna buy? Like, if you're not buying here, where are you really buying it? Like, down here? I mean, I guess. I just think that if we ever hit 1400 again, we're probably fucked. Like, this was all-time highs in 2018, so it doesn't really make sense to keep testing the prior all-time highs multiple times, right? Like, it just doesn't. Like, we've already consolidated in that area, right? We had a crazy wick down right here. Oops, we had a crazy wick down. It just, like, you don't want to see price retesting high time frame support multiple times in, like, I don't know, a month. Like, that's not good, right? Like, if you're like an ETH trader and you're super long or something, it doesn't really make sense for something that you're so bullish on, something that you think has so much strength and is displaying so much strength, to continually dump and test support, right? Like, support should be that thing, that mythical thing where you place your bids in, it gets filled, it bounces, and ideally your support was so fucking amazing that it doesn't go back down there, and you have the generational bottom support buys. Okay, now I know that's on the other end of the spectrum, right? That's like oh, that's the perfect situation. But now apply that the other way, right? Where if you're buying something that's, like, say you're shorting and you're bearish, right? Well, you shorted and price keeps dumping every time it moves up. Like, every time it moves up, it dumps back into that support, and you shorted the highs. Well, you are awfully comfy, right? So ideally, we don't want to see any more pushes down. Okay, like I want to see ETH at around 3,400. That's probably where most people will start selling. But this pretty much corroborates with the fact that Bitcoin's gonna go sideways. It just looks like this is gonna do some shit like this too, like, you know, playing both sides of the range, this massive range. Okay, so I have a feeling it's just gonna do this shit. Like I really do. It's just one of those things that's part of the market, right? Like sometimes you have a trade environment where things are trending really hard, right? Where things are just going up, or down, down, and there's multiple percentage moves with every candle, right? Kind of like this, right? You guys see this? Trending upwards, right? Trending upwards. This, not so much, right? So, could we just be entering like a period of consolidation where it's just sideways? I think that's the most likely one. Okay, I have a hard time looking at this and saying like, yo, this is the most bearish chart I've ever seen, everything is gonna die. But it's hard to sit here and be like, yo, this chart is going back to all-time highs. Okay, so for me, I think this just goes sideways, which is why we're gonna have a little seminar on range trading. I think, you know, I think it's something that will help all serious traders, because you never know how long these ranging market environments are gonna last. Could be a day, could be a week, could be a month, could be fucking 5 months. Like I remember when Bitcoin was trading here. I wonder if there was perpetuals at the time. I doubt it. Let me see. Oops. Don't look at this. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be a little painful. Alright. There was a time when Bitcoin was like trading in a tight ass range for like months. Let me see. This one right here. Like, what the fuck is this price action, dude? This is from... Oh, shit. Okay. So for about 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months, we traded in a 10% range. This wick, I forgot what it was, but there's a reason for this one. I'm not too sure. I fucking forgot. But yeah. So we traded for 2 months. 2 months in a 10% range. Right? Like 2 fucking months, dude. That's a long time. And then after a nuke down, right, which was what we were talking about earlier, where maybe we just had our bear cycle hit and now we're consolidating and going sideways, right? Forming a bottom, right? How long did that last? That lasted damn near 4 months, right? So could we be trading this choppy sideways action, you know, for a while? Absolutely. Like, absolutely, right? So we could very well see some shit like, you know, for a long ass time. Like, could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, who knows, right? But usually this takes time, and I would not be surprised if we did take the lows before going up to the highs. When you zoom out, it gets a lot clearer, but at the same time, if you're over leveraged and whatnot and you're overexposed, it's hard to zoom out, because you know you have so much on the line, and any move can possibly liquidate you if you're overexposed, right? Like if you had like a 10x or something, well, move down to 22k probably bankrupts you, right? So keep that in mind. Let's go back to ETH real fast so we can do a lower time frame analysis. So 4 hour, not really liking the look of it, which is why I kind of just think we're gonna range for a bit. I might close this trade out very soon, depending on how this 4 hour closes. But yeah, because we've already kind of hit, I think, the bulk of our targets, which is 26 something and like 2900. Yeah, so like, I mean, so close to 2900, 289133, like $8 away, So let's see. Yeah, so for Ethereum, 4 hour, don't really like it too much. Why? Rejection, right? So sorry, let me erase all of this so you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. All right, okay, you see how this was the bottom of the up candle, next candle down, shits on it, next candle down, shits on it. This one, we don't even, like, this level gets front ran, and there's a good chance that we probably just go down to 25.80, 25.90 or something. Okay, so yeah, be careful on low time frames right now. I'm not sure, you know, what price technically wants to do here, right? I do think it's just gonna chop, but on low time frames, I think this is gonna move down. Like, I think we're at the top of the range. The upside on a long is very minimal. Would not be surprised to see a visit back to 2400. But if you're trading higher time frames, you know, don't get so caught up in this low time frame analysis right here. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you're trading the fucking monthly or something, right? So if you're trading the monthly, so if you're trading like the monthly, there's no reason for you to get so bogged down with, you know, what does the hourly say? What does the 30-minute say, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? It's like if you had a long-term plan, why are you letting short-term things affect your long-term plan, right? Like the short-term should be a signal of what might come on the higher time frames, but it's not like the end-all be-all sign, like, oh, I saw a swing failure pattern on the hourly candle, so I gotta get out of my position. Or, oh, you know, I saw head and shoulders on the 30-minute, I have to close my monthly position. Like, no, you know, like that's not really smart trading, because you'll always get conflicting noise, right? You might as well just say you'll never trade high time frames at that point, because there's always going to be a signal on lower time frames that disagrees with your high time frame analysis, right? It's just the nature of the game. So yeah, so if you're trading high time frames, ignore me. You don't need to, you know, focus too much on the hourly or 2 hour or 4 hour, but use it as a nice, you know, like a nice supplement to your analysis. Anyway, let's go back to ETH. Okay, yeah, so similar to Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin sideways for June is probably the likely answer. When I say sideways, I mean, like, as long as it's in this range, I consider it sideways, because it's capped, right? It's like a channel almost, right? And you can even go as far, if you're on the 4 hour and you want to see signs of the channel breaking, you can just figure out the range for that 4 hour, right? So in that case, it would be something like this. Cool. So it would be 2900 down to 2100. So if you see this breaking, then you'll know, like, all right, there's a good chance 2000 is about to break too, right? Or we're about to approach 2000. I might bid it because it's the high time frame range, you know, whatever side you're looking to take, right? So be aware of things like that. And most importantly, there's a reason I fucking took a vacation this month. You kind of know when the market is sideways like this that life-changing money is not as abundant, right? Like, you're not going to have as many opportunities to make a fuck ton of money, and it's a really good period of time to just step back, study, you know, like, figure out the work, maybe take a vacation, you know, like, you've had months of a bull market, you guys have been doing relatively well. It just doesn't make sense to always, you know, push when the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? So make sure you guys identify things like that. There's no need to overtrade, because the market will trend again. Like, it's just the nature of the market, right? as people become more euphoric, the trend gets stronger and stronger and stronger to the upside. When people get more depressed, more, in despair, the trend falls more and more and more to the downside. So again, it's one of those things that if if you're worried about, I need to make money, I need to do this, I need to do that, and you're forcing trades, you're ultimately going to end up with less money. It's like a poor man's paradox, where people want to make it so quickly, so they bet more, they force trades, they take every setup that they can get, and because of that, they stay poor. It's one of those things that it's just so fucked. But in any other industry, it wouldn't work like that, right? Where it's like, say you want to get a promotion, or you want to be a partner at your firm, or you want to impress your manager, whatever, right? You would work harder, you would put more time in, you would overwork yourself, you would just push, right? You would do everything that people ask, shit like that. It doesn't work like that in trading. You are your own boss, and sometimes you got to know when to hey, market's ranging, tight range, it's kind of difficult to trade, maybe I should cut my sizing down by half, maybe I should take a vacation I've always wanted to do. And you'll be surprised at how much clearer your judgment and your decision making becomes when you're well rested and you're happier, and you don't feel the need to always be in a trade, or always make a trade, or always be looking at charts and knowing where price is going, right? I know that's not technically trading advice, right? Like, because you're not trading, but the best traders I know when to be like, all right, well, I can't trade this shit. Like, why the fuck am I trading this cancerous price action when I can just wait 2 weeks, not lose any money, and make a fuck ton of money? Like the thing with trading is that people think linearly. So when I say linearly, I mean like people are so used to thinking, all right, if I put in 5 hours, I'm gonna get this much amount of value back, or if I put in 10 hours, this is what I expect to get back. That's not how it works. With trading, I could very easily tell you that the bulk of my money has been made in very short time frames. The rest of the time is just me trying to sharpen my skills, not miss any trades, and just overall anticipating when those small periods or those small windows of opportunity comes where you make a bulk of your money, right? Like for instance, like if you're on ETH, the bulk of your money is probably made here, and if you're like a super early guy, like over here, right? So like these 3 legs up are probably where you made a bulk of your money. If you're short, this is probably where you made your money, right? So nothing too crazy, right? Like a couple days out of the year. I mean, these circles alone, if you played right and if you played it right and had like, I don't know, $5,000 or something, and you didn't over risk too much, I mean, you could easily have 3 or 4 or 5x your account. Like that's pretty significant. So yeah, again, don't force too much in this range, okay? It's not necessarily that you can't, it's just that me personally, I just feel like there are better things you can trade now, and that's where we kind of jump into altcoins. So I'm gonna answer one question real quickly before I move forward with a couple alts that I'm looking at, and then yeah. So Sun Tiger Trader says, how do you square ETH looking a lot stronger than BTC? So I think he's asking if I think ETH is stronger than BTC. With that case, we're gonna go to the ETH BTC chart, and my God, yes, it does look better, right? Let's clear everything. All right, so this looks really good. This was what we wanted to see from Bitcoin, ideally, right? Where it hit like that 48K level, which is the equivalent of, I guess, 0.075. So yeah, if you're a shape trader or pattern trader, sorry, you're looking at some shit like this, right? So you're looking at essentially, I'm gonna break it down via price action because I just don't think it's any use telling you like this is an ascending triangle, this is a bull flag, this is a thing, this is a that. Okay, so we have higher lows, right? A push into resistance that doesn't get rejected. We don't lose market structure, right? When I say market structure, I mean we don't lose this low. Okay, so we push up, we do get rejected, but we don't lose this low. We maintain market structure. This would be where you anticipate support and resistance to be, right? So this was support. Notice the gajillion wicks into this support, yeah. And then I can't really say that we, oops. It's hard for me to say that, you know, this is a level reclaim, right? This could very easily be a deviation. When you see a breakout, you want to see something like, you know, up a lot more and then down and then up, right? Like the things that are like, you know, it's like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's such a weak fucking break. It just shows that, you know, there's either a lot of sellers or, you know, people are not buying as much as they did over here, right? So ideally the next best buy would probably be a little bit lower, around 74. But yes, ETH is looking a lot better than Bitcoin if you're asking. That has more to do with hold on. That has more to do with the fact that alts just they just tend to send it every time fucking Bitcoin goes sideways. So yeah, I think altcoins are probably gonna be the funner things to trade coming up. I don't think it's like Bitcoin season yet or whatever people are calling it. Just because of what, you know, we just went over. It just looks like it's gonna chop sideways. And, you know, ETH is an altcoin, but it moves a lot more like a fucking Bitcoin, right? It's not giving you 50% days, or, you know, I guess it might, but not as likely, right? So yeah, let's look at this, and you can probably tell the state of the alt market. So another coin that I really like to look at when, you know, you're looking at altcoins lately is Solana. So let me go ahead and pull up Solana. So okay, so Solana. So this was drawn back when we were doing our dip video. So, you know, just excuse these lines out here. They're pretty much irrelevant right now because we're already so far above them. But we are entering resistance, right? And this is kind of where I would anticipate, which is why, like, we've been saying, like, we might get a down move, but it's gonna stay in that range and we're just gonna chop sideways, because I do think it's gonna do some shit like this, you know, like some shit like this. I don't think it's gonna be a straight V reversal to highs. I mean, that's kind of like wishful thinking, right? That's, oops, oh shit, I've never done that before. Okay, that's kind of wishful thinking, right? A lot of people tend to look at coins and be like, oh look, we formed the bottom, now it's just gonna V reversal into new all-time highs. I mean, I guess in crypto you can never say never, but it's a very unlikely situation, right? And the way we trade as traders is that you fucking take probabilistically positive trades, as in, does this make sense for me to store my capital in it? Does it make sense for me to hold through this area? Does it make sense for me to, you know, buy here, sell it there, whatever? And the answer for this is probably no. Like, is there a chance that we just fly to all-time highs? Everybody who bought the lows never, you know, they're never in danger. Yeah, I guess there's a chance for that, right? But it's not the lion's share, right? It's not the highest probability trade, is all I'm saying, right? So again, I like looking at Solana to judge altcoin health, because if Solana is not performing well, I don't know many coins that will outperform it consistently. like consistently. Okay, emphasis on the consistently. Like, I get it, fucking Neo might outperform it for a couple days, but consistently speaking, Solana probably is your best bet in terms of like the more not like the majors, but not absolute shit coins. So it's a very good gauge of the altcoin market health. I think it's better than Ethereum in my opinion, but that's just me. It used to be Doge, but Elon kind of fucking murdered that shit. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna answer a couple more questions. Please provide entry and exit targets for alts. I can't even tell if you're kidding. I mean, I guess I can do it for Solana, but we're not at entry yet, and I just don't want people to FOMO. But let's see. I would only look to long like around 37 or so, or if we flip above 45. So, either flip above this area right here. So okay, so like 44.5, but I want to see 45 is what I'm saying, or a push back into the lows around 37. Okay, the problem with this is that it's hard to place a stop loss because of how wide the range is. Okay, look at this crazy dump here. So from the top of this candle down to the bottom, like it's damn near 67%. So basically, even if you have a reasonable stop loss, it's still like 15%, 20%. So really scary, right? Which is why I'm always saying like size down. When ranges are this volatile, you want to size down. Stop loss, I wouldn't even know where to put this stop loss, to be honest with you. Depending on what you're looking at, you could look for this low to be kept right here, right? So you can look at the 34 area, because if we trade below this low, it would retrace the entire up move, right? So this entire breakout would basically get completely ran back, which isn't a good look. So you can do something like that, which is still 12%, like it's not exactly the smallest loss that you can take, right? So you have to size up for that. So you have to, if you're risking 1% or so, and assume this is like a 10% loss, then you'd have to go only, literally 1/10 of your desired sizing, or else you'll lose 10% of your account. All right, so yeah. So any other questions, boys? I know I'm trying to keep this one a little bit shorter because we're doing multiple streams. CBS is doing one later today. I don't want to overlap into his time or do anything too crazy, but is there any questions that I can help you guys out with? If not, I'm gonna do a quick summary of everything so that people who join later, or people who maybe just wants to skip to the end of this video. All right, me and CBS on the same page. Let's fucking go. Wait, is CBS streaming right now? There's no way he's fucking streaming right now. Is he streaming right now? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, well fuck CBS then. All right, there's no stream for me to interrupt. Let's go then. All right. I'm just kidding. I love CBS. I fuck around with him all the time. It's a love-hate thing. Is the bull run over? It's on a pause. I mean, it's on the pause. It's one of those things where I don't think it's over, but people have certain expectations of what the market should be doing when it's a bull market, right? So in a bull market, most people tend to think, all right, number just goes up and up and up and up, and everyone just makes a lot of money, and number never goes down. You just buy every dip and you make a lot of money. And albeit that's true for some parts of the bull market, there are periods of time where like the market has to recharge, right? There are only so many buyers, there are only so many sellers, and at a certain point the equilibrium is broken, right? Where maybe now there's more sellers than buyers because everybody fucking bought already, things like that. So I do think we're entering a period of sideways movement. If this sideways movement doesn't break upwards, I would like to say that bull market's probably over. But in hindsight, this is the weirdest top I think anyone has ever seen. It's like a rounded top. It's not even like it's really weird. We're navigating, relatively new tech in a new industry with very limited cycles. So it's very hard when people compare like, oh, it has to be exactly like 2018, because it doesn't. It doesn't. Like, is it, does every bull flag break up? No. Does every top have to be like some explosive movement to the upside? Not really. Does every bottom have to form only when you see major liquidations? No, not really. So it's one of those things where we just have to take it level by level, day by day. Right now, my general consensus is that we're gonna go sideways, so it's gonna be fucking boring. Like, I shit you not, I would rather trade a trending market to any side, downside, upside, than a ranging market. And not just because you make more money, but just because it's more fun. Like, more people can participate in it, people are more excited and shit like that, right? But when it's like a ranging market, most people lose money. Most people surprisingly lose a bulk of their money in choppy market conditions. It's usually not like a big candle down that wipes everybody, albeit that does happen. It's usually the slow, steady, fucking choppy downtrend where people miss trades and they tilt, and then they over leverage to make it back, and that's where people go wrong when it comes to trading the ranging markets. But what reaction would you be looking for at range low 34K before taking a long? Says Hitman 1357. I would just look for a push down, and I would bid it. Like, I would just literally bid it. The only thing that I would be looking for is if that level holds or not. If it doesn't hold, I need to get the fuck out. Like, if we start trading, like we start closing the candles below 33 and a half, I would look to cut size. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to be like, I'm gonna wait for the bottom and wait for confirmation of the bottom and buy, because at that point you're buying like 10% higher, right? Like, you're not really buying the bottom anymore. You're buying like the confirmation bottom, which isn't always the best. Like, I'll tell you that it's not always the best. So yeah, that's probably what I'm looking at. Good question right here. This one's by Sam. He says, "Hey Loma, it's not an exact science, but how do you gauge if a support will keep giving a bounce on retests, especially after the second touch?" That's a very good question. Very good question. Okay, one thing that I really like to do is, I guess we can use Solana as an example because we're already on it. So this is the first test, right, of this. Sorry, my ex is fucking ugly, and I'm not talking about like a girlfriend. I'm talking like this ex. Like, my ex is, ooh, that's ugly. Okay. So this is the first test, right? And then this is the second test. Okay. So why is this test a good one? Like, say this candle closed, right? It closed at like $40.90 or so. Okay. Why is that a good one? So, and why do we think price is going to go up? Okay, so this was the low on the first test. We took out the low, which means you can imagine that people are setting their stop losses right here, right? Like, it's just the nature of the game. Like, people bought this, they're like, all right, that had to be the low of the day, whatever, blah blah blah, it had to be the low of the week, and they set their stop losses below. Price travels back down to that point, people close out, their stop losses trigger, it sweeps the lows, it gets bought back up, right? So buyers have shown that there's interest in this support area. from here you can basically just long for free money. Where would you be wrong? If the next candle starts trading below 37, right, which is still, because Solana is so fucking volatile, it's still like a 10% thing. And if I'm being honest with you, I think this is gonna move down to 37 within the next, I say, like day or two. Yeah, like I just don't think I don't know, I just don't think Solana pumps right up, you know. But if it does, you know, this is our entry trigger above 44. But again, I'm looking to enter lower, so Solana is pretty much the only alt that I'm looking at when it comes to trading right now, because you want to focus on the strengths. Like when the market is just trending upwards, you can pretty much buy any fucking alt you want and make money, right? But for now, it's kind of in that weird situation where you only want to focus on the coins that are doing relatively well, right? And usually they'll have some fundamental backing, like FTX just bought TSM, one of the biggest gaming esports gaming companies in the world, I believe. So hey, more power to them, you know. Digital currency, video games, they pretty much go hand in hand. So great move by FTX, and as a result you're seeing their coin, or Sam's project I guess, go up. So yeah, this is something that I'll keep my eyes on. Can you please have a look at Atom? Okay, sure, I will do that, and then we're gonna do the summary, and then yeah, Atom looks like shit. I'm sorry, my man. I don't know why Atom looks like this. I think Atom's one of the better projects in the space, but it's like, you know, like you can, I guess you can extrapolate this out to this, right? Pretty clear support and resistance flip, right? So acted as support before, now acting as resistance, right? So I would not be surprised to see a move lower if we don't break above this very soon. So, and when I say lower, I mean like 50, 30, 40%, like 30 to 50% lower. Like not like 10% lower. I'm talking like 30% lower. So yeah, be careful if you're in Atom. It doesn't make sense to be long this close into high time frame resistance. Okay, so yeah. What about Ray? Might follow Sol. I don't know. I fucking hate I fucking hate Ray. I don't know who the market makers are for Ray, but they just fucking suck. But it could be one of those things that, you know, with Solana, it was kind of ass at the beginning too. I think it was trading at like a couple bucks and it wasn't doing shit. So it could be a case of that, you know. I'm not really a fundamental trader, so I don't know too much about like what is upcoming for the project, what new developments they might have that could push it to the next level. But just remember that when people buy Sol, people don't necessarily go and buy Ray. Like, they buy Sol because of Sam. And yes, Sam is part of Ray too, but you can only buy like so many of this guy's projects before there's diminishing returns, right? Think of Andre, right? YFI, and then there's like all these other fucking clones, all these other coins that he came out with, and at first people were buying them, right? People were buying them, people were pumping them, Keeper, all these fucking shit coins, right? And then now he's pretty much lost that luster, right? And those coins aren't pumping. So yeah, it's one of those things where you want to be cognizant that yes, you're playing the laggard per se, or what you presume to be the laggard, right? You assume that Ray is gonna follow Sol, which is a fair, I guess, assessment because of, you know, how closely Sam is associated with it and how they work together and whatnot. But yeah, market's not agreeing with that, you know. Like when Sol goes up, Ray doesn't necessarily always go up too, or it doesn't go up as much. And if that's the case, you're better off trading Sol, right? Because it's way more liquid, it goes up more, and its price action is way less shitty than Ray. Like, I can guarantee you Ray sucks. Let me see. Yeah, oh my god. dude, this is ugly, bro. Like, deviated above all-time highs and then dumped to all-time lows. Like, yo, whoever is the market maker for this coin, like, suck a dick, bro. Like, you are fucking evil. Like, holy shit, this is legitimately evil. Wow. This is some evil shit. Like, you see this pattern right here, right? You see consolidation above all-time highs, and then you see like Solana pumping and everything, and you're like, wow, easy long. Yeah, no, it gave you the BART special. I mean, I thought the BART would come up here, but Jesus Christ, wow. I'm sorry for everybody in Ray. All right, what's your views on traditional markets, SPX, stuff like that? I don't really look at the traditional markets too much, but with all the news that's coming out, I think all markets are about to, you know, get a little downside chop. I think crypto will stay in the range, but I think traditional markets are going to get a little bit of a rude awakening soon. Who knows? But all right, I'm gonna do a quick. Oh, I have one more question. Loma, can you do another live scalping video / stream? Yeah, I'm actually down to do a range trading scalp video very soon. Maybe I'll do it tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and. Ooh, there's one more question. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do hero and that's it. I swear to God, I'm gonna do hero and that's it. All right, heroes is an options and derivatives on Solana. I don't even know what that is. Okay, listen, the entire market looks like it's gonna nuke. When I say nuke, I mean like it's just gonna go down. Like I'm fucking being dramatic, but yeah, it doesn't look all inspiring right now. You know, it just looks like it's gonna go down. And because the range was so massive on Bitcoin and ETH, I think we're gonna stay in that range. Like, I do think the highs and lows are capped right now, but alts are a different story. Okay, because alts are way more illiquid and far more volatile because of it. So yeah, I like Hero because I've actually played on their platform a couple times and it's pretty fun, but from a chart perspective, I think this is going to go back down to the 60-cent area, like 65, 66 cents, maybe even lower. Possible that we go back down here if we get like a really big nuke, because I don't know the liquidity for Hero. But yeah. All right, I'm going to do a quick summary of what we went over for anyone who was late to the stream, or you know, just missed it. Maybe you had things you had to do real quick. Oh my god, it's already nuking. Okay, so real quickly, I'm gonna delete this. Okay, so this was the weekly range that I capped off, right? So if you go in the weekly, oops. Okay, it's just last week's highs, last week's lows. Okay, now we're on the 4-hour, so we can see the granular details on it. Basically, I think we're just gonna chop through here. Like, we're just gonna right? Take the highs, take the lows, take the highs, take the lows. Anyone who's expecting a trend is gonna get fucked. As in, like, when it goes down here and everyone's like, yo, it's a bear market, it's over, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, all the bearish propaganda comes out, they're fucked. Okay, and then when it comes up here and all the bulls are like, yo, fuck you bears, I told you this shit was gonna go up, you don't know shit, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's probably when it goes down, because that's how ranging markets work, right? You hit support, you hit resistance, you expect a reaction, you expect the price to stay capped within that range, hence range bound trading, hence trend not there, right? So that's what it is for Bitcoin, just sideways. Okay, ETH, very similar idea. Ignore all of this, but yeah, we should just trade in this trend, right? Albeit ETH is one of those things that I think could break out of this trend earlier than Bitcoin, because I do think alts are going to outperform Bitcoin in the coming weeks. So yeah, if you're looking to long something, I would heavily prefer longing like Ethereum over Bitcoin. Okay, just off the charts. You know, you can totally make the make the case that, you know, Bitcoin is the better project, the better coin, the better asset, whatever. But on terms of return on investment and, you know, how the charts are looking, it looks like, you know, it looks like ETH is where you would prefer if you had to pick between Bitcoin and ETH. Yeah, still it's gonna be range bound, so we're gonna do more videos on range bound trading and just get you guys more accustomed to, you know, how to scalp the ranges, how to identify ranges, how to maneuver your way through them, because most people lose their money in this market condition. Most people do not lose their money when the market's trending, because it's very easy to pick up on a trend, right? It's like eventually you have to be like, all right, it's time for me to long, or like, all right, it's time for me to short, right? So that's trend. But for range bound, you're switching between long, short, long, short, long, short every, you know, 12 hours. So yeah, very difficult, especially for newer people to look at a chart and, you know, not feel like they have to, you know, stick to one bias or something, right? Because like when you're new to trading, it's extremely hard to switch your bias, right? Like fluidly, it's extremely hard. So yeah, that's basically gonna be this week's market breakdown. It's just gonna be a bunch of sideways shit. It's gonna be boring. We're going to be focusing on alts, and I'm going to be doing a live scalp session tonight. We'll be recorded and whatnot, so I'll have that out for you guys. I'll most likely be scalping, whatever is volatile, because I'm damn sure not scalping $10 moves on ETH. Like my fees will just eat that up. So yeah. Alright, so that's a quick Sunday market outlook. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out CBS's stream earlier. He goes more in depth with altcoins and things that he's looking at and whatnot. This is more of a general high time frame outlook on what I think the market is going to do. There's a good chance that me and CBS probably have the same conclusion, given that we have the same conclusion on Solana. So, you know, maybe take a look at that. I know this is a plug for someone who's not in our group, but Trader Main is actually going to have a range trading live stream or something later. You can go check his Twitter profile or something like that. He'll help out on that. I'm going to record a live scalp session later tonight when there's a little bit more volatility, hopefully, because it's fucking difficult to scalp this. Like, I mean, Jesus, you know, it just doesn't look fun. So yeah, I mean, CBS is right. Sol didn't look good. I would wait for at least 44.5, 45, or a retest of like 37, 36. Oh yeah, okay, CBS is going live in about an hour and a half. Okay, cool. I figured, because I saw him tweet something earlier, and I was like, wow, I can't believe he streamed already. But alright boys, have fun on the CBS stream. We have a lot of content coming out in the coming days, actually. YouTube channel for us is coming up, so we won't have to do this bootleg double streaming ghetto shit anymore. Okay, we'll figure something out. But yeah, the YouTube channel I think is already set up because UB said so. So alright, I'll catch you guys next time. Don't overtrade. Enjoy your fucking Sunday. Be smart. Don't like, this is not the market condition for you to, you know, fucking go balls deep in. Okay, just relax. Okay, we'll make some money, but this isn't where, you know, you go from zero to hero. This is where you go from like nothing to a little bit, you know. But yeah, enjoy CBS's stream if you guys are gonna be here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys. I hope, well, this video is gonna be up relatively soon. Like by the time CBS is done streaming, this video should be up. And then the scalp video, I'm only gonna keep it to like an hour. Okay, so however long we get in an hour, we'll get that. So all right, I'll do that tonight. I might live stream it in here, but we'll see. There's just a lot of dangers with doing that. So, all right, enjoy your Sundays. Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate you guys a ton. Have a great day. I hope Floyd Mayweather knocks out Logan Paul. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.